The birth of skateboarding, a revolution that began on the sidewalk. It was the late 1950s. On the west coast of America, life in California revolved around the sea and surfing. On sunny days, young people would rush to the ocean, spending hours riding the waves. But when the wind died down and the waves stopped, the beaches grew quiet. Some surfers refused to accept this silence. "If there are no waves, the sidewalk will be our ocean," they said. They attached wheels from roller skates to boards at home. The first skateboards were entirely handmade. They were difficult to steer, the wheels were metal, and riding was noisy. But the feeling, that sense of freedom, was just like being on the ocean. Skateboarding was surfing translated to land. Sidewalks became the new waves for the youth. By the 1960s, skateboarding quickly turned into a craze along America's west coast. Newspapers ran headlines like, "The new youth toy, skateboarding," and brands began producing boards. Companies such as Makaha and Hobie released the first professional skateboards, inspired by surfboards. TV programs held skateboarding competitions, and exhibitions took place in parks. However, there was a problem behind this rise. The wheels were made of clay and metal, making boards unstable and accidents frequent. As accidents increased in many cities, municipalities banned skateboarding. What was once considered the sport of the future disappeared by the late 1960s. But the spirit, that feeling of freedom and rebellion, never fully died. In 1972, a young inventor named Frank Nasworthy developed a new kind of wheel, urethane. This soft, plastic-based wheel allowed skateboards to glide smoothly and quietly. This small innovation became a turning point in skateboarding history. Around the same time, a group of young skateboarders emerged in Los Angeles, the Z-Boys. Hailing from Venice Beach and Dogtown, this crew began skating in empty swimming pools. They brought surfing moves to concrete, riding steep walls and creating a new style. They weren't breaking rules, they were making new ones. The Z-Boys style transformed skateboarding from a toy into a culture. The streets became their skate parks, the city became their playground. By the 1980s, skateboarders had moved from ramps to the streets. Sidewalks, rails, stairs, all became skate spots. During this era, the language of skateboarding completely changed. Rodney Mullen rewrote the mathematics of skateboarding. He invented tricks like the ollie, kickflip, and heel flip, forming the foundation of modern street skating. Tony Hawk pushed the limits on vertical ramps, becoming a superstar of skateboarding. Skateboarding brands also became central to the culture. Names like Powell Powerelta, Santa Cruz Magazine, and Thrasher were not just products, they were an identity. For skateboarders, choosing a brand became a statement. From the 1990s to the 2000s, skateboarding was no longer just an underground culture. It became part of mainstream culture. Music, fashion, and art intertwined with skateboarding. It mixed with punk and hip-hop scenes. Skateboarding magazines, VHS tapes, and videos became idols for youth. In the 2000s, video games, especially the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, helped skateboarding spread worldwide. With the rise of YouTube, amateur skateboarders created their own heroes. Skateboarding now spoke a universal language around the globe. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, skateboarding appeared as an official sport for the first time. Yet for skateboarders, it has always been more than just a sport. It is a story of freedom and balance, of falling and getting back up. The roots of skateboarding began on surfboards, but what kept it alive was always a rebellious spirit and creativity. Today, every skateboard still carries the energy of those 1950s surfers riding the sidewalks. Skateboarding is no longer just a vehicle. It is an identity, a culture, and a history.